Hey friends, welcome back to my channel Zach's Curiosity. The second smallest planet in our solar system where an unprotected human would die in a matter of minutes. Yet we are planning to get there and colonize it as a stepping stone to explore further deep into the solar system and the outer space. To discover the red planet Mars, a possible future home for humans, stay tuned in this episode of Zach's Curiosity. Well before 1000 BC, Egyptians knew about the movement of Mars. Greeks also noticed this motion, and the word planet is their contribution. This motion of planets was a strange move for a celestial object to ancient people because while stars appeared fixed in the sky relative to one another, planets appeared as if wandering the space. Greeks gave Mars godlike status for this very reason that an entity far above them is observing on Earth. All 5 planets visible to the naked eye, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter and Saturn, held special status in their mythology compared to the fixed stars. The names of the planets as we know today is the contribution of Greek and Roman mythology. Zeus, god of sky and thunder, is Jupiter. Hermes, son of Zeus, is Mercury. Aphrodite, goddess of love and beauty, is Venus. Kronos, god of time, is Saturn. And Ares, god of war, is Mars. The invention of telescope aided the observation of these planets in more detail. Although telescope was invented in the Netherlands in 1608, history considers Galileo as the first to document astronomical observations using his version of telescope. In 1659, Christian Huygens, a Dutch astronomer, used a more powerful telescope and observed distinct surface details of Mars. He was the first to measure the rotation period of Mars and calculated it to be about 24 hours, which is in fact 24 hours and 37 minutes. He also estimated that Mars diameter is 60% of that of the Earth, which is in fact 53%. Later in 1666, Giovanni Cassini improved on Huygens' calculations and documented Mars day to be 24 hours and 40 minutes, just 3 minutes off the actual value. Mars is the second most similar entity to Earth in our solar system, the first being Titan, one of the Saturn's moon discovered by Christian Huygens. A day in Earth is 24 hours, while that in Mars is 24 hours and 37 minutes. Also, Mars has seasons similar to Earth, based on the observation that the southern cap shrank and grew according to the season. Mars' gravity is 38% of that of the Earth, so we can lift those heavier objects which we cannot lift on Earth. Similar to sandstorms on Earth, Mars is also famous for its legendary global dust storms. Having understood that Mars is a planet similar to Earth, now let's discuss some of the challenges in getting there. The first problem in getting to Mars would be to use high quality fuel with almost zero wastage and energy output as high as possible. Assuming that this problem is solved, the next challenge is to figure out a path to go to Mars. The average distance to Mars is 220 million kilometers from Earth. Only once in 2.2 years, Earth and Mars line up when they are the closest. This closest distance is around 54.6 million kilometers, 142 times the distance between Earth and Moon, which took the Apollo mission 3 days to travel. However, this is the straight line distance, and there is no such straight line path between the orbits of planet to traverse because of the way gravity works. It would be highly inefficient to travel along the straight line because you will be burning the fuel all way long. All the robotic probes can reach Mars in a mere 3 days by accelerating and deaccelerating like crazy as seen in sci-fi movies, experiencing G-force like never before. We humans cannot handle such G-forces. Walter Hohmann in 1925 proposed a transfer orbit, which is the most fuel efficient path we know today for crewed missions. This Hohmann transfer orbit is an elliptical orbit around the Sun intersecting with the orbits of Earth and Mars. Traversing along Hohmann's transfer orbit will take about 9 months to reach Mars, a distance of about 500 million kilometers. So a return trip to Mars from Earth will be around 2 years, assuming a 6-month month stay, most of which is living in zero-G conditions. However, Elon Musk's SpaceX rocket ship will have zero-G games to keep you entertained, so don't worry about boredom. Assuming that you have made it to the orbit of Mars, now the next challenge is landing. Landing on Mars is not possible using parachutes, as the Martian atmosphere is not thick as that of the Earth. The spacecraft with thrusters is required to slow you down while landing. After successful landing, don't rush to go out and explore the red planet. There are a few more challenges that we have to deal with it. Mars' atmosphere is 96% carbon dioxide, 1.9% nitrogen, 1.9% argon, and traces of oxygen and methane. A simple face mask with oxygen supply will not help because the atmospheric pressure on Mars is 600 pascals, which is about 0.6% of Earth's. The lowest pressure you will need a suit is 6300 pascals, 10 times the Martian pressure. This threshold of 6300 pascals is known as Armstrong limit and is arrived at the pressure at which the water boils at the human body temperature of 37 degrees Celsius. Exposed human beings to a pressure less than that would find all the moisture in the eyes, lungs, tongue and nose to boil away. Blood will still flow, but blood pressure will reach into the high BP zone. Most of us will immediately have a heart attack or a stroke. On top of this, Mars is cold. Mars' daytime temperature is 37 degrees Celsius. However, the nights are freezing at negative 140 degrees Celsius. Now that your Martian suit has the oxygen, heat and pressure required to keep you alive, before you explore the Martian surface, there is one more thing that needs your attention. Mars' gravity is 38% the gravity of Earth. Having spent 9 months on zero-G conditions during the onward journey to Mars, even this small gravity would feel like carrying an elephant, so you will have to relearn to walk again. Of course, these challenges are for a short-term stay. If humans are to colonize Mars for permanent stay, then terraforming Mars is the solution. Terraforming Mars mainly involves hitting the planet and building up the atmosphere by melting all the dry ice, releasing CO2 onto the atmosphere. CO2, which is a greenhouse gas, helps in retaining the heat generated during the day. Heating Mars will also release frozen water onto the surface of the Mars, filling its surface with 30 feet deep of water. But heating Mars is a significant and complex challenge. Elon Musk has a solution for this. His plan involves using giant reflectors in its orbit large enough to vaporize the ice caps. Even if you build the Martian atmosphere successfully, there is a risk of its erosion by the solar winds. Thus, artificial magnetosphere would help in resolving this issue. With the current human technology, this feat is achievable. Next, the oxygen for breathing can be produced by using oxygen-producing cyanobacteria and algae. Once the Mars is heated to a certain level and atmosphere is built up and it's protected against solar winds, everything else will fall in place. There will be rain and there will be food and oxygen. Terraforming Mars seems like a fairy tale, but Elon Musk is determined to make it a reality through SpaceX and making humans a multi-planetary species. I hope now we know how challenging it is to get to Mars and to colonize it. To get more videos like this, hit that subscribe button and the bell icon. Also, don't forget to like, comment and share.